How you doing? It's Sandesh here, and I'm here to do a video about Biden and his ongoing letting Israel do whatever the hell they want to Gaza. Um, these are two opinion pieces, and I would say these are pretty spot on on Biden's attitude, and also the fact that he's still letting Israel just do whatever the hell they want to Gaza. Um, Here we go. I'll put the two articles in the description. Here we go. Okay, the first one um, was from the 2nd of April, which was. What's today? Yeah, it was yesterday. Okay, Biden is still the best US president Israel could wish for. The meaningless ceasefire resolution his administration allowed the UN Security Council to pass should not fool anyone. United States President Ronald Reagan's order to Israel Prime Minister um, Menachem Begin, I think that is. I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry. But the article will be in the description. To put an end to his Holocaust in Lebanon is perhaps the best known political anecdote from Israel's 1982 invasion. Less known, however, is the enthusiastic defense for that very same military operation dubbed Operation Peace for the Galilee, offered by a young Democratic senator at a private meeting where Begin, I'm just going to say Begin because I don't know how to pronounce it, was being grilled by US lawmakers over Israel's disproportionate use of force. According to Begin, 40-year-old Delaware Senator Joe Biden delivered a very impassionate speech in support of Israel during a closed Foreign Policy Committee meeting in Washington D.C., and said he would go even further than Israel and forcefully fend off anyone who sought to invade his country, even if that meant killing women and children. I mean, you pretty much know that of the fact that Biden won't even continuously want advocate for a ceasefire, even though I bet most of his own voters want a ceasefire, he still won't do it. He was even asked by the press though once. It's clearly, he even admitted it's clearly not working, but he still said that they're going to carry on doing it anyway, so it didn't matter. Begin, a former leader of the Irgun, I think that's what it is, the notorious armed group that carried out some of the worst acts of ethnic cleansing during the creation of the state Israel, included the 1948 Deir Yassin massacre, was by his own account stunned by Biden's chupa. I think that's what it says. I disassociate myself from these remarks, Begin later told Israel reporters. I said to him, "No, sir, attention must be paid. According to our values, it is forbidden to hurt women and children, even in war. Sometimes there are casualties among the civilian population as well, but it is forbidden to aspire to this. This is a yardstick of human civilization, not to hurt civilians." It turns out Biden's enthusiastic backing of Israel as it committed in Lebanon was what Reagan deemed a Holocaust was not a fad or anomaly. Today, as president, Biden appears even more eager to legitimize and encourage Israel's aggression and international law violations than he was more than 40 years ago. He's always been a warmonger, even back then. I know he was so for the war in Afghanistan, and I think he shamed other politicians if they weren't on board with them. Since October the 7th, the Biden administration vetoed 3 United Nations Security Council resolutions calling for a ceasefire, despite consequent polls demonstrating growing public support for a ceasefire and the death toll in Gaza passing 30,000 The Biden administration stood firm in its position against the ceasefire until March the 22nd, when it finally introduced its own resolution. The resolution, which stopped short of explicitly demanding Israel halt its campaign in Gaza, which vetoed Russia and China for that very reason. On March the 25th, a revised version that included an unconditional call for a ceasefire was put to vote and passed with 14 votes in favour, with the US abstaining. The passing of the resolution called for an immediate ceasefire for the rest of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan, and leading to lasting peace, was interpreted by many as a sign that the pressure from the international community is finally getting to Israel's staunch ally in the White House. The resolution, however, was hardly a real threat to the continuation of Israel's war in Gaza. It not only failed to include a call for a permanent ceasefire, as many UN members wanted, but also demanded the unconditional release of Israel captives without even mentioning the thousands of Palestinians held without charges in Israel. Furthermore, it was adopted under Chapter 6, Pacific Settlement of Disputes of the UN Charter, rather than Chapter 7, Action with respect to threat to the peace, breaches of the peace, and acts of aggression. While Chapter 6 resolutions are commonly described as legally binding, there is no consensus. I think that's what it says. I'll probably most likely misspelt it. Mispronounced it. Sorry. Among legal scholars and jurists, or whenever they are legally enforceable. This allowed the US to dismiss the resolution as not legally enforceable, but practically provided Israel with an excuse to completely ignore this ceasefire call from the UNSC. Biden. As far as Benjamin Netanyahu is concerned, what is Biden going to do? What is the Democrats going to do? They're not going to stop them, no matter what. In the end, what some interpreted as a belated softening of Biden's pro-Israel position was nothing but smoke and mirrors. Exactly, that's what it was, smoke and mirrors. I'm going to stop it from here. I'll let you see the articles for yourself. I'll put them in the description. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. And are you for the war? Are you for the war in Gaza? In Gaza, if you are, let me know. Because I honestly don't understand why anyone is still advocating for the war in Gaza. Seriously, I don't know why. Because it's hurting. It's hurting America, but it's also hurting us in Britain as well. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and please comment on the video, and I'll see you soon.